Hey students, my name is Andre Martinez and I'm a small group leader here. And I have a question for you. Have there ever been a time where you felt stuck or in a bind and you needed someone to come and help you out? Maybe this was you ran out of gas and needed someone to come pick you up or take you to a gas station. Man, maybe it was you wanted to go to camp or retreat but couldn't, so someone paid your way for you. Or maybe it was a teacher that just helped you with a subject or a topic that you couldn't understand. In the same way it's possible for us to get stuck in our own lives, it's very possible to get stuck in our faith. And just like Joseph said previously, faith is personal. But one key aspect that I want you to see is that even though it's personal, it is not private. And here's what I mean by that. We need people to come alongside us in our walk with Jesus. And what that means is that we need people to help push us, help encourage us, help cheer us on when we get stuck. And I want you to see this moment in the life of Jesus played out. It's found in Mark chapter 2. And what's happening is that Jesus has been going from town to town and people have been following him like crazy. They want to hear him, they want to get to see him, they want to get to know him. And finally it gets to this point where he's in a house and it's packed. Like people can't even come inside the door because there's that many people. And here's what it says. Some men came bringing to him a paralyzed man, carried by 4 of them. Since they could not get to him, Jesus, because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus by digging through it and then lowered the mat that the man was lying on. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, "Son, your sins are forgiven." And what I want you to see what's happening here is that the man was stuck and he needed his friends to help him get to Jesus. So what do? They just rip the roof off. And this is just a part of the story that we read. But think about how crazy that is. That's like going to Olive Garden when it just opens, it's packed, you can't get in, so what do? You and your 4 friends rip the roof off to get in? That's crazy. And this is the point that I want you to see. Jesus cares. Let's think about it. He's in this packed house, people can't even get inside anymore, and what happens next is that they literally rip the roof off. Now, Jesus doesn't respond like we would think. He doesn't get frustrated, he doesn't get angry or upset or annoyed, but instead he stops. He takes a moment and he looks and talks to the man who has just dropped through his roof. Now, maybe we felt like this before, is that we're just bothering God, or that he doesn't have time for us, or that maybe he knows that we're going through something, but he doesn't actually care or see. Now, what I want you to see is that those are lies. And this is the truth that we're hearing and learning about, is that Jesus does care. He takes the time to stop, to listen, and to talk, and to help us with whatever we're going through. And the second point is this, is that who is carrying your mat? And what I mean by this is that this man who was stuck literally needed 4 other people to carry him to Jesus, to open the roof, to drop him in so he could finally get to Jesus. This reminds me of when I first started following Jesus in college. I had 4 other guys who pushed me to Jesus, who I could ask questions, and they didn't think I was foolish or dumb or annoying, but instead they met me where I was at. And ultimately, they always pushed me back to Jesus. Now, this is true even today. I have people around me who I can call, who I can text, who I can meet up with, and I know that they're going to push me back to Jesus, that they may give me some advice, but it's always going to be back to Jesus. So students, here's a question I have for you. Who's there to carry your mat? Who's there to push you back to Jesus, to encourage you when you don't think you're doing well, to ask the hard questions, to be there for when you have questions? Who's there for when you're stuck? Who's there to carry your mat? And students, what I ultimately want you to see is this. Faith is personal, but it is not private. Our questions are not too big for God. Our problems are not too big for God because he wants to connect with us. He wants to be there for us. He sees you and he's going to take time for you. And the other thing is that we want people to help carry your mat when we get stuck, because you're going to get stuck. So whether that's people in your small group or outside, we want people there to push you back to Jesus, to encourage you when you feel like you're not doing well, but ultimately to help just carry your mat back to Jesus. So, guys, remember, faith is personal, but it is not private.